What time is it? Truck time. Today we are going to be installing the twin ARB twin air compressor mount. This is the passenger side mount, but it comes with two pieces, as you can see here, and then also comes with some accessory bag, and then also comes with some of this blue Loctite. Hopefully the idea is that's going to fit here. So today we're going to find out. We have some directions here. This is what comes in the hardware kit. This looks like the contact information, and this is the installation instructions for the ARB Taco 3rd Gen dual compressor mount. That's what we got there. Here's all the steps if you'd like to snap that. Here's some more. That's how you mount the tank on the bottom. It looks like they're telling you here which bolts we're going to be using, where to mount these bolts. Oh no, this is it though. Take a look, and then we'll get it going. The directions don't really talk about having an ABS harness here. They don't address the brake line, right? But it is possible, we feel. So we're going to do it, and according to the instructions, it is for a 2016 current Tacoma with V6. So as you can see here, I got the V6. So here's the parts I got ready. So we're going to start. This housing piece is actually really hard to fit in here without removing this air filter housing. So we're going to start by removing this air filter housing first. So we have some room. So you just undo those clips, it opens up. So let's go ahead and loosen this up. You don't need to take it off all the way, just enough to get it loose so that it will come out like that. Careful, you don't want to pull too tightly and loosen up any of those wires. But I'm just gonna sit this to the side, just like that. Doesn't look like it's gonna stay. Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, that's how you mount it on the side. Then we're gonna move this air filter here. Now we have 3 bolts here. We have 1, 2, and this 3rd one. So I'm gonna just leave the screws in here so we don't lose track of them. And this one here. So as you can see, all 3 bolts are the same size, and these are a number 12 millimeter to remove these. So now that we have those 3 bolts removed, we're going to pull the housing this way, otherwise it won't come out. So we're going to move it that way, and as you can see, that's the part that sticks into the fender like that. So let's get this out the way here. Per directions, we're going to remove these 2 bolts here and that one right back there. And for this, you're going to need a 12 millimeter and an extension. This extension's like an 8 or a 10 inch. And I'm going to go ahead and okay, so this was, I pre-loosened it for the video, so we are actually looking pretty good here. All right, so I'm gonna do it by hand now. And get these off here. Put those up here. And then the one back here. Don't lose that guy. It's close. Don't lose it. Got it. All right. This piece, if you try to fit it in this hose, the wire harness right here is going to rub against here, and it won't let you line up the brackets. We can move this wiring harness by popping up here So you got to pull up on both sides here. It's probably easier to do that when you have it bolted on, actually. All right, let's see. So we're gonna keep shaking it a little bit. Do not break this. This is not recommended by me. We're just showing you what we are doing for entertainment purposes. This was not instructed by the manufacturer. So we're gonna, so I think that's good. So you slide it off now, just like that. And now, let's see if I can show you guys how oh, dude, this just came in. So we're gonna BL's got some big plans for his truck for today. So we gotta hurry up and do this. So let's go ahead and slide this in. You don't wanna move your brake lines too much. Actually, before we do that, let's feed this ABS harness through there, kind of like that. So first we're going to feed the ABS harness through this hole here. There's not much play, so you actually have to slide this housing in as you feed it through. Be very careful. Very important part. You do not want to put unnecessary pressure anywhere. This is very important. You can probably die if you do this wrong. So it's going to keep sliding it in. See the harness is actually in now. And I'm just going to keep sliding this back over the bolts until it's sitting in that rear bolt that we removed. And there we go. It just popped right in. And now we're going to just attach
we're going to be here all day.
Attach the ABS back on and we'll clamp it down. And when you clamp it down, it seats itself, which is nice. All right. And so now we got everything square as far as the housing goes. I want to see if these brake lines on the top are going to clear. They look like they need to go down pretty significantly. So there we go. So that's the only one we're really concerned about. And it doesn't look like it's going to clear, unfortunately. If you look at this little piece here, corner, is supposed to go inside of this groove like this. Like that. But as you can see, it's touching the wires of the ABS harness and will not go down. And so what we're going to try now is to remove this bolt on the bottom here. Let me see if I can show you that one. And then we'll try to mount it under this bracket so that we can get more clearance for this top piece here. So we removed this mounting bracket. So these bushings used to sit in here like this, well, almost like that. This one on this side, and then one through here. We took out all three and we placed it right there. So it's on the bottom and the top. So these are the two bushings that are missing from the back. We did use a lot of lubricant to get it to fit through the hole. But as you can see, it holds itself. This was the only way to get it to fit. By leaving this on, it will not clear the brake lines here. So it will not fit. This piece here was the hardest to figure out how to get out. I'll show you how to do that in a second. Back down here is where it was connected. That's where this piece was connected. We did a quick test fit. You can see it was hitting the hood, but it looks like it might fit, but we have to turn it. So see, he's removing the top and the bottom. There's two pieces on both sides. You have to actually lift them away, and that allows you to pull this thing up towards you. So that is the same thing we got down there, except instead of pulling it towards you, you got to push it away from you once you undo those clamps. All right, so I'm not going to show you this part, but I have the harness fed through, and now I'm going to go ahead and anchor the braking harness to the air compressor housing. I'm just tightening. All right, so now that we have the bottom mounted, I'm going to go ahead and seat the whole thing on the bolts. We can start lining everything up. I'm going to go ahead and connect the braking system back together, which feels really good. Finally, ARB bracket pre-installed. These black screws, there's 4. These came with the ARB compressor. So it should fit like that. It fits, so now I'm going to go ahead and anchor the 3 nuts back on. 1 on each of these and 1 in the back. And then I'm going to anchor this on as well on the side, and then the 2 on this side. All right, so everything's on lightly. Now I'm going to go ahead and just try to slide it all to the right. I guess it's not going to sit there so easily because the horn is pushing up against the housing. So now that's mounted to the side frame of the vehicle. And now I'm going to go ahead and get these bolts down nice and tight. You can check the torque specs and do all that if you like. I just make sure it's nice and tight from experience. Just gonna line it up on the top here, tuck all the wires in the back, and now it fits in the groove. And now we have these two bolts here that we're going to be putting in. Just use the bolt washer on the outside, and bolt goes right on in. Do that for both of these. All right, so I got that nice and tight. That thing is on there really good. So now we're gonna check the compressor to make sure it works. Okay. All right, so here we go. Let's slide this guy in. It's a pretty tight fit. There we go. All right, here's those 3 bolts. And I'm gonna go ahead and put those back in. Yeah, and this just won't close on the air filter now that I got everything back together. So what I'm gonna do is just unscrew this filter here like that. Oh my goodness, there we go. Then I should be able to close it like that. Good. Man, everything's super tight fit like this. It look like that when it's all done. All right, so we just learned something about this compressor. You don't have to unbolt all these bolts like we did here. If you have a 10mm wrench, you can actually reach the bolt you're trying to reach down here. It's not a great fit, but it's a whole lot easier. And so we're gonna loosen it up a little bit because we changed the angle from up to the side, and if you look, we can't thread it in. The angle is too steep, so we need it to be more like that, and not like that. All right, so doing a test fit. This is clearing everything, so it shouldn't vibrate at all. I'm gonna give it a little bit more space. Yeah, that looks really good. So I'm gonna take that out and I'm gonna go ahead and now I'm gonna seal that up at that angle with the 10 again. Getting that nut right there. All right, so I just wrapped it with a couple layers of Teflon tape. And now I'm going to seat it. There's 2 slits here, and we are going to fit this in there and screw this thing on. Let's see if this thing is working. So I hear it. Nice. And it stopped. So that's normal. That means it's ready. We are going to actually need to plug in the hose here. I have this connection here, just seated, and the compressor's working. And you can see here, if we ever release the air, it'll pump the air back up. So release the air, and it works. Wonderful, wonderful. So let's go ahead and mount this back into the new housing that we just installed. Turn off the air compressor first when you're turning it off, and then we are going to release the air before unplugging. Let's see, so I have the compressor hooked up right now to this lever, so I'll just release the pressure. And now that all the air is out, it's more safe to unplug this thing, just like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and mount this back on the housing. All right, so that is mounted. Wow, and that looks like it's easily gonna clear the hood. If it doesn't, we are definitely gonna see a scratch. But we should be able to at least put a cap on this way. So let's see if this with the cap will now clear this hood. All right, so we're going to lubricate the top of this a little bit here, and just to see if we see any wet spots on the hood. Hopefully we didn't destroy it. And it is wet right over here a little bit. So I know it is contacting. So what I want to do now is just, I want to see if it contacts without this, all right, so see if it scratches the hood at all. You can see a little scratch right there. For being able to mount it there, I think that's pretty cool. I just don't think it's for everyday people. If you don't mind wrenching and getting in there, then go ahead and go for it. But other than that, it's going to be a lot of work. I can't say I'd recommend this, but we're going to try it out. I'm going to go ahead and mess around with this and have it angled down a little bit more. I can only angle it down so much, otherwise it'll mess with the action, and I don't want to mess with the action there. So that is how I'm going to leave it now. It's got some action right there. Because the mount hits the hood, I don't think it's a perfect solution. I mean, it barely grazes the hood, but there's plenty of room in the bottom of the bracket to mount this compressor at a slight angle down, and then just the slightest bit, and then the nozzle won't touch at all. So, but for now, we'll make this work. It's not bad. It is a lot of work for what it is, especially for my Tacoma here, the 2020 sport model. I really think there's still some space to be improved, but I'm happy with it for what it is. Saves me from having to wire everything all the way to the trunk. So leave your comments below. Thank you very much. I'm exhausted. I'm out. I'm gonna go help out on the other side here.